Hi, welcome to this video. So I wanted to make a quick review about the Keychron K2 mechanical keyboard. This is the K2 version. As you can see, I have the box right there. It's the white backlight, brown switch. It's using the Keychron switches. And this is the box that it came with. So I had a couple of things as extra keys if I wanted to switch it to Windows keys, and if I wanted to change the effects button, lighting button to orange, I can do that. I have a tool to remove the keys, instruction manuals, and USB Type-C regular keyboard. I've been using this keyboard for the past 1 month now as a web developer, and this is my impressions, and there's some things that I find working very well and some things that I find quite irritating sometimes, but I managed to live with it, and I find overall that it's a good keyboard, value for money. I bought it off directly from their website, keychron.com, and I've got it about 2 months later in Canada. So I'm impressed by this product here, but let's talk about what I've been using before. So I've been using the Chiclets keyboard, so I've been using it for the past 10 years, no problem at all. This is a fantastic keyboard, but after excessive typing on it, if you already know, so you will feel some kind of fatigues in your fingers. So when I switch from this keyboard to the mechanical keyboard, I don't feel that fatigues anymore. It's gone. Now that I think about it, it's gone. So this one is not missing me at all. And there's no features in this keyboard that I find not present in this one. On the contrary, this one has more features. And I've been using mechanical keyboards for the past 4 years. I have a Corsair K70 brown switch keyboard. This is the Cherry MX brown. So compared to this Keychron brown switch, I'm loving this one much more. I'm even thinking about making use of the same keyboard and just using the switch from Windows to Mac in order to do my gaming sessions. So I probably give away my Corsair K70 to my girlfriend or something. So I will show you a bit about the side here, which holds all the configurations. So you have your cable input, you have your Windows and Mac OS switch. So when you're using Windows, it will set the keyboard to a different configuration, and when I'm using Mac, I will switch it to Mac OS. So far, I've bought it specially to work on my Mac because it's my daily tool. I use the Mac for web development, so I never tried it on Windows actually. So you're having a perspective from a Mac user having using this keyboard for the past 1 month. And here you have your Bluetooth off button and cable option. So once you have plugged your cable in it, you'll have to switch it to cable mode. And most of the time I'm using the Bluetooth option, so I'll go ahead and switch it to Bluetooth here. And I will show you how to pair it first with your MacBook. So let me bring the screen closer. So now that I have the Bluetooth on, the keyboard is on. As you can see, there's some lights going on. The keyboard will prompt you to the number 1 here, as you can see. Number 1 here is blinking, so it's asking to be in pair mode in order to make use of it. It's not connected to anything right now. So let's go ahead and do that. I will show you. I will bring my screen closer here. This is my MacBook Pro, my daily work tool. So I'm in the Bluetooth settings here. As you can see, I have a bunch of devices which are not connected, but Keychron is not appearing on the screen yet. So in order to do that, first you will need to hold the Fn key. Sorry. So you hold the Fn key, then you press the number 1 here. You hold it for like a few seconds till it appears on the screen. So as you can see now, I will try to bring the screen closer. The Keychron K2 is now pairable, so I will go ahead and click on pair. And it's like that, connected. You see the prompt here. You're good to go. There's no configuration, nothing to download. It's plug and play basically. So let's make some key tests now. So nice feature. I can just put it over the keyboard here. Well, not exactly. So I will put it on the trackpad in order to show everything in one recording. So I don't usually type like that. I usually put my Mac over there and then I will type. So let's make the typing like that so you can hear the sound of the keyboard. So 3, 2, 1, let's start with the sound test. How's the latency? The latency response on this keyboard. So as you can see, it's instant, so there's no delay. There's no advantages using the cable in order to get more latency. I actually don't feel any. It's non-existent. Even when I'm typing a lot of keys, it's not missing anything. Everything is collected. So let's type. So I'm testing the keyboard. So my cat has decided to join the party. So hello. So there you have it. Obviously, the bigger buttons will make more noise. Different noise, I mean not more noise, but a different sound than the smaller one. It does make sense. All the similar shape keys will make the same sound over the board. This one will make a different sound. I notice a little bit more resistance on the lower keys here, even the directional buttons. But the middle buttons here for text, I think it's lighter. I feel lighter. I don't know. This is my impression. On the top here, I found it very useful. All the keys they put all the keys necessary. I find here. There's nothing I'm not using actually. So, both the F1 keys, this is for the brightness of your screen. So as you can see, I can turn down the brightness of my screen, turn up, you hold it, so it's working fine. You have your mission control and other button to bring your apps. You have your light intensity, so you can turn it off if you want here. You can turn it up. You have about 4 levels of brightness, so this is the maximum. So it's not it's nothing that will blind you. It's discrete. I like the light levels. I don't think it should be brighter. And then there's no bleeding of the lights on different angles. I find it quite nice and elegant. Then you have your music buttons. I use it all the time for Spotify. Mute, lower volume, upper volume. The crop tool, I've been using this one very much. As a web developer, sometimes I need to take screenshots and send them to my clients. So this is quite handy to have, because I was using the default Command Shift and number 4, I think, to bring up the crop tool. So now I find myself typing there directly and taking screenshot like this. Very nice, working very effectively. And I wouldn't say my productivity has increased using it, but it did make my life much pleasant, if you will. It's more I don't know. There's a feeling that you're typing on something that is quality and that you want to keep on typing on. So I'm not getting tired of typing on this. I'm enjoying myself, actually. So that's the point. So if you're using a chiclets keyboard and wondering if you need a mechanical keyboard, I don't think that you need a mechanical keyboard, but it does make things a lot more pleasant if you're using it more than 4 or 5 hours a day, and for data entry and programming or typing tests. That will remove some tensions in your fingers from typing a long time. I've been using the chiclets, and as I've noticed, it's creating some tensions in my fingers at the end of the day. On this one, I'm not feeling it anymore, and I'm enjoying it. The build quality, some people have asked me on Reddit why I didn't get the aluminum body, but honestly, I don't feel like the keyboard is cheap already with the base. This is the basic version that you can buy on the Keychron website. This is a regular 84 key white backlight with brown switch. So it's right now at $69. So I think that's a very good price. I've been searching all the mechanical keyboards website, forums, subreddits, and they have all mentioned keyboards that will do similar things than this one for twice or 3 times the price of this keyboard. So I think if you are patient, there's no rush for you to get a new keyboard. It's worth the wait. It's a very nice product. I don't feel like you need a aluminum body. I'm not missing it. Because I'm used to the MacBook Pro aluminum body and the previous generation keyboard, the chiclets one from Apple. I'm not missing the aluminum feel here, because most of the time I'm not even touching. Let me demonstrate my hand position when I'm typing on the keyboard. As you can see, it's just my wrists are placed on the table. My wrists are placed here, and I'm just typing. I'm just floating over the buttons here. Everything is reachable. While I have a large rated hand, I buy gloves in the large format, so I know it's a large hand. So I can reach the buttons here. The thing that you don't see is that those upper buttons here are at the same levels than those ones. So let me try to show you, but it's more a feel than something that I can show you. It's 2 or 3 millimeters a bit down. So anyways, you need to lift your fingers to make those operations. Lift my wrists in order to reach those buttons. So there's no big deal here. I'm not reaching this every second or so. So all the time my hands are in this posture and I can reach everything. It's not small. I think guys with bigger fingers or fatty fingers, it's quite comfortable. Also, there's a lot of room on those keys. It's not wobbling. Of course, there's some noise of the keys. That's normal because it's quite elevated compared to chiclet keys. So of course it will make some noise, some movement noise, but it's nothing. For example, when I'm bouncing it like that, nothing. I think that's just the space bar. Let me hold the space bar. You don't feel any, you don't hear anything. So there's no wobbling. It's very, very well-made keyboard. This is a very value for money. I'm quite happy about this one actually. So one of the downsides, because right now I'm just I'm just talking about the pros. There's a few downsides, such as two that I found is the actual the actuation point, the travel distance to reach the actuation point. I can feel the actuation point on the brown switch as I'm supposed to, but the registration on the keystrokes are supposed to happen just as I pass the bump here, but it's not always happening. That's a bit of something that I'm not accustomed to. After 1 month of use, it's still not there. I don't. Sometimes it won't register even I pressed after the actuation point. So I think there's a gap there, about 5% of actuation pressure that I'm talking about. But when I'm typing long text, I find sometimes the need to look back at the screen because I've missed one letter somewhere. So in order to not do those errors, I find myself hitting the keystroke all the way in order to make sure that I'm registering what I'm typing. So I might as well have bought the red switch, I think. But if I have bought the red switch, I wouldn't get the same clicky sound from it. So I'm happy with the brown switch. I will just type it all the way in. Not that the travel is far, so I can reach the bottom. It's not far. It's not a lot of pressure that you need to type in. From the actuation point to the bottom, there's not a lot of room. So that's one of the cons. I find myself missing a few strokes when I'm not hitting it all the way. And last one is concerning the height, the actual height of the keyboard. As you can see here, it's quite high. I don't know why it's that high. Maybe because of the battery in there. It has a very good battery, by the way, and I will get to that later on. But let's talk about that last con. So this is the height of the keyboard. I'd say about 2 inches, almost 2 inches, and this creates quite some fatigue in your typing because you're placing your wrist on the table and typing. Your wrists are not in a natural position. It's not supposed to be upwards like that. It's supposed to be regular, like flat, like almost like this. Almost like when you're typing on your flat chiclets buttons. It's more natural way. So there's some fatigues being created from lifting your fingers upwards, but this can be solved by adding an armrest. I'd say this if you have wrist pain or something, I think you'll be sensible to this cons here. So I would advise to buy some kind of armrest. For me, I've taken apart my K70 armrest just to show you. For them, I'm not using it to type on. So if you place it in front of your keyboard like that, this will give you an actual increase in height and comfort overall. This is much more better to type on now. So an armrest, something to lower that arc that you're creating with your wrist. So if you can get it a bit upper the wrist, so that's the point here for an armrest. That's one of the cons I find. I would have liked that they offered an option to just add an armrest for this size of keyboard. I would have bought it, and yeah, but I will have to find something that fits in that dimension for this keyboard in order to not create any long-term problems in the wrist typing. And that's basically the only cons about this keyboard. The overall build quality is very, very nice, and it also has the feature to extend up, but I don't see the point of using this because it creates even more tension on your arm because it's so high. It's unnatural to type this way. You need to lift higher. It's not natural. It's annoying actually. So I'm not liking this this feature. So I always use it flat. It's better, more comfortable. If I'm using it on a long term, I think I will be buying the armrest. And this is a keyboard I carry every day in my backpack. So I work maybe 1 hour, 2 hours straight, then make some pauses. So it's not a big deal to buy an armrest. It's not an urgent matter. But someone who is sitting at his desk for longer, I think you need to invest in that. Concerning the battery life, I'd say I received this half charge from the factory, and I've charged it over the course of 1 month only once, and it's still charged. I'm not sure how you can check the battery level, but I know from the factory they are required to charge it of the half capacity in order to ship it internationally, in order to comply with the shipping carriers and things like that. So this is the Keychron K2 review. So hopefully this was a helpful insight. If it was, please let me know. This is my first review. This is my personal impression, and hopefully that helps you guys. Thanks for watching.